When it comes to working with tabular data using Python, Pandas is the go-to library. It is by far the most preferred Python library for working with tabular data. But Pandas has a learning curve. It has a huge API and requires you to remember many different function names over time. This can slow down the EDA process if you don't know the right function name or how to use it. But what if I tell you that I have found an AI assistant who will answer majority of your pandas related queries and can also generate code for working with pandas data frame? Well, in today's video, I'm going to introduce you to a Python library named Sketch that provides a natural language based prompt from pandas data frame itself. You can use it to know more information about data frame as well as ask it to generate code for data manipulation and data visualization. So without further ado, let's get started with the coding part. Alright, so as you can see on my screen, I have already started Jupyter Notebook, and at the beginning of the notebook, I have highlighted important sections of this tutorial. So first of all, we will be loading the dataset. So we'll be using a two different dataset, and then we will ask the questions about dataset, and the Sketch AI will answer various questions in natural language form. And then we can ask it to write code for data manipulation, generating new features, data visualizations, and so on. So over here, I have highlighted common usages of the library. So you can use it for data cataloging and metadata generation, data engineering, so data cleaning, masking, feature creation, feature extraction. And then you can also ask data questions and generate data visualizations. I will explain majority of them over here in this tutorial. Now, in order to use Sketch, first of all, you need to install it. So you can use it pip for installing it. So just simply execute this command pip install Sketch and it will install the library Sketch. So first of all, I have imported the libraries. So I have imported both Sketch and Pandas SPD. So in this section, first of all, I will be loading the dataset that we'll be using. So first dataset that we will be using is the famous Titanic dataset. So I have downloaded a CSV file for that dataset. And the second dataset is a World Happiness Report dataset. So it has information about various countries and their happiness scores, GDP per capita, and so on. So both of these datasets are easily available on the internet. You can simply do a Google search and you will find CSV for both of them. Alright, so let's move on to our first section where we ask questions to data frame using Sketch. So once you import Sketch, each data frame has an attribute named Sketch, which is function name ask. And to this function, you can give various questions about data frame. If you want to know about data frame, you can ask question over here and it will return answer in a natural language based form. So let's first of all ask a question, which columns are number type. So which columns are basically integer. So as you can see, it is saying over here that passenger ID, survived, P class, age, all these are number columns. So passenger ID, survived, P class, as you can see, age, siblings, parch, and so on. So these are various number based column. Next, what you can do, let's ask few more questions. So let's ask for continuous columns. So if you want to know which are continuous columns, then you can ask their names as well. So over here, it is properly giving us the name of continuous columns. You can also ask for categorical columns. So as you can see, survived, P class, name, then parch, ticket, cabin, embark. These ones are categorical columns. So these are very basic questions. But let's say you want friendly name for each column along with the data type. So you want to know the data types as well. So then you can do that as well. So over here is saying that passenger is integer, survived is integer, then sex is object, then age is float, and so on. So if you want to format, then you can do that as well. So over here, I have again asked same question that give me friendly name for each column along with their data type. And I have specified that give it in HTML format. So let's execute this line of code and see how it is generating the response. All right, so as you can see, it properly created a table, HTML table, where we have column names and then data type. So yeah, you can do that as well if you want in some other format. So let's say that over here, I have asked the same question, but this time I have asked it to generate a JSON format. So let's see what it's generating. All right, so as you can see, it has generated a dictionary So in dictionary, we have keys which are column names, and then there are values which are again dictionary, which are information about the type of the column and the name of the columns. So yeah, it generated output in JSON format as well. Now, if you want to know some question like what is distribution of gender in dataset, so you can ask those kind of questions as well. And it's saying that there are 577 male and 314 female. So you can ask many different questions. So let's ask what is distribution of survived. So this is the final target variable which we predict in machine learning task. So it is saying that 549, so around 61% survived, and another are non-survived one. So yeah, 38%. I think 38% survived and the other way around. 61% did not survive. And let's ask few more questions. So which country has high happiness score but high corruption as well? So this is I'm asking on happiness data frame. So let me execute this line of code. And it says that country with high happiness score but high corruption is Russia. And it has an overall rank of 68. So you can ask this kind of questions as well. Let's ask which country has a high happiness score with lowest corruption. So that's a Finland. And let's ask which country has good social support. So let's see what it's answering. So it gave name of 5 countries. So Finland, Denmark, Norway, Iceland, and Netherlands has a good social support for its citizens. So you can ask many different questions, though I ask some basic questions, but I would recommend that you go ahead and explore this library and ask many different types of questions about your data set and see how it is answering your questions. So now that we are done with that part, let's ask Sketch to generate some code for us. Right, so the second function that I am going to introduce is a how to function. So the previous one was ask, where you can ask questions, and in case of how to, you can ask it to generate code. So if you want to do some manipulation on the data frame and you don't know how to do it and you want Sketch to tell you how to do it, so you can give it to how to. So over here I am saying that one hot encode sex and embarked columns. So it will give you code. So in output cell, this is the code, and you can simply copy from here and then paste it. So I have copied. So let's see. Let me execute this and show you the result. And yeah, as you can see, it encoded both of this sex underscore female. You can see these extra columns, embarked underscore C, embarked underscore Q and S. So the code worked fine. So it was able to generate code for us, and we ask it to one hot encode these 2 columns. So let's generate few more code examples. So now let's ask derived birth date based on age and handle nans in code. So I added this line because I noticed that if I only give this string derived birth date based on age, then it was failing because of present of nans. So I asked it to handle it, and let's see how it is doing. All right, so it has generated code as you can see. So it's importing date time, and it's setting birth date to none, and then it's looping through each row, and over here it's generating birth date, and it's handling nan as well, as you can see. So let's copy this line of code. Let me copy it over here and let me execute it. And yeah, so there is a minor failure. It says np is not defined, so we should import numpy. So now let me execute this line of code, and let me also display first few rows of this modified data frame. Yeah, so now that we have added birth date, as you can see, the birth date is added over here, class, which is nice. So what I notice in this code is that it is storing birth date as a string. So let me show you the type of birth date. So yeah, it's a string, so object type. So let's ask it to convert it to date time format. So let me execute this line of code, and yeah, it has generated the code. So let's see. Titanic df of birth date and then let's check the type. Yeah, so now it's date time. So now that we have converted it to date time, we can ask it to generate more futures from this date time column. So let's ask it derive useful many time futures from birth date, and let's see what kind of code it's generating. All right, so as you can see over here, it has created a code to generate new columns of the dataset. So it's retrieving year, month, day, then age years, age months, age days, and so on. So it generated these 6 new features. So you can copy this code as well. So let's try some data visualization. So over here, I have asked it to generate a bar chart of embarked. So I want to see the distribution of embarked column. And I have asked it to use a 538 theme. So it generally generates charts using matplotlib. So let's see what kind of code it's generating. Yeah, so it has generated code. So let me copy this and let me execute it to see how our chart looks. Right, so as you can see, it has generated a chart showing distribution of various values from embarked column. So let's try to create a one more chart. So over here, I have asked to create a scatter chart showing relationship between two columns, age and fair. And I have asked the color points based on embarked and use 538 theme. So let me execute this line of code and let's see what kind of code it's generating, and then we will execute it. Yeah, so it has generated the code. So let me copy it and let me execute it. So as you can see, it generated a chart, scatter chart showing relationship between age and fair, and it colored the points of the chart based on embarked, various values of embarked. So it was able to generate various data visualizations as well. Alright, so that's it for today's tutorial. In today's tutorial, I explained you Python library named Sketch. So it's an AI assistant that can be used to know more information about dataset or data frame, and it can be used to generate code to working with data frame. So if you have any doubts or any questions, then please feel free to let me know in the comment section. If you liked our video, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more such videos, and see you next time.